Hi. I decided last week that, 4th of July, so I was going to give myself a little bit of a break putting out a video. I have good news. I am officially in ketosis. I had a little headache last week when I was just doing boiled eggs and my keto-friendly, totally sugarless, totally flavorless protein shake. And I just thought it was because I wasn't drinking enough water or some other thing like that. I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety lately because I have a lot of problems that are hitting me right now. I have had a little bit of a respite the last several days from that anxiety. That does kind of seem like a couple of things might have resolved. There's nothing really solid. I went for a walk last Wednesday. I reported that I wasn't going to be walking if I had worked, and I work Wednesdays. I just had this idea that if I went right after work, even though my feet were killing me, that the walking, especially if I really focused on making sure that I didn't limp and I walk the whole stride the way you're supposed to. Like when you're pushing off of your back foot, you put weight on the ball of your foot and toes, and you're going to have stretching for a while. I was being very careful not to use my Achilles heel at all, so there was no stretching at all or contracting under pressure. And when I was at the rec center Wednesday after work, the pain became tolerable after the first lap, or maybe partway through the first lap, I can't remember. And then there was this lady that I had seen on a number of occasions who has been supportive, came up and said hi. I think I hadn't seen her in like 6 months or something, because I rarely typically go at the time that she goes. But she came and said hi to me, and then we ended up walking, I think another 7 or so laps together. That was nice. I think I definitely walked more than I would have if she wasn't there walking with me, and she said the same thing. Of course, she usually walks faster. I'm doing this fast right now. I have been fasting since Sunday. It's a vitamin supplement slash salt for electrolytes slash water strict fast. I had a lot of ghrelin, I think it's called, the hunger hormone. Supposedly if you don't eat when you have ghrelin, there's a bunch of benefits from that. It does cause you to want to eat. And yesterday, Monday, it was manageable, but I still craved food quite a few times throughout the entire day. I'm very strategically in my car right now because I'm actually trying to not be in my room while my landlord shows the house off to a potential tenant. I just imagine like sitting in my room and suddenly she's knocking and I have to stand there while someone's like looking at my room and all my stuff, and it just feels awkward. I've been in ketosis since Sunday night. I know because I had a headache, and that's one of the 2 indicators that I always have. I don't know why I didn't have the other indicator. I've been kind of worried because I've had a lot of headaches lately. Like since I started dieting, losing weight, doing keto 2+ years ago, I really have not struggled with migraines and headaches nearly as much as I used to. I am taking a migraine medication, and I don't know how much it's playing into it. It obviously doesn't keep me from ever having headaches or migraines. There have been plenty of times where I have. And I've had a couple of these headaches lately, and I didn't know why. Usually I know why I have a headache or migraine. I didn't have it Monday. And I went to work. My foot was killing me, same as usual. I was actually kind of thinking like, man, I doubt I'm in ketosis yet. I was thinking that at the time. I didn't know I already was. The inflammation in my foot is just so painful. I was only able to be on my feet for an hour and a half before the pain just overtook me. When I came home, I just had this thought that I would test for ketosis. And so I ran a test. I'm in deep ketosis. And it was like maybe another hour before I realized, wait a minute, I had a headache last night. That's one of the 2 indicators that I'm going into ketosis, because when I get keto flu, I have two things that I know happen to me, and headaches are one of them. They only last for a couple of hours, and the headaches aren't that bad. And it was gone the next morning, like it didn't even happen. And I was just like, all right, whatever. When I saw the test result, I'm like, oh, that explains it. I came to that conclusion after I saw the test result. I finally realized it sometime later, but I hadn't been in ketosis for quite a while now. Because of that, the test result showed a few shades darker for a much higher concentration of ketones I usually see when I'm in ketosis. It's usually a much lighter shade because when you're in ketosis all the time, or you go into ketosis frequently, your body gets pretty efficient. It's not going to create a ton of ketones that it's not going to use. When you haven't been in ketosis ever or for a long time, it won't be as efficient, and it'll just make tons and tons and tons of ketones. And so when you do a test, you'll get a much higher result at first. That goes away after a couple of weeks. If it doesn't go away, that's not good. You're not supposed to have too many ketones. So I'm sure that I ended up in ketosis last week because this was not the first time in the past week that I've had a headache. And I was surprised when I realized that, because I actually wondered if I went into ketosis and I wasn't sure. And when I got that positive result and realized this was not the first headache I've had, it's like, oh, all right, that explains that headache, because I didn't understand where that headache came from. I almost always know where my headaches come from or my migraines come from, what thing initiated them. And I was going to just go, well, I must have been thirsty, because I've felt extra thirsty lately. And so I've really worked to try and drink more water, and I still feel thirsty all the time. I'm starting to wonder if that may be one of the keto flu indicators. That's not one I usually have. And I'm going to stay in ketosis until Friday morning. I'm going to break the fast with a boiled egg, and then I'm going to try and do like 3 boiled eggs like a few hours later or something. And then I'm going to have a substantial meal that night, because Saturday someone's gonna celebrate with me for my birthday, and I don't want it to be too hard on my stomach when I do. And then I'm gonna go back into boiled eggs for most of next week. I'm not gonna do another fast next week. I try to only do them once every couple of months, but in case this fast does not completely eliminate the foot problem, I think I'm gonna do another one and really work to have a clean reintroduction of food with that one, so I get as much stem cell repair as I can possibly get. Because I'm kind of not going to be in ketosis over the weekend, I'm not going to get as much stem cell repair, and I desperately need it. Like I did when I had the sciatic nerve problems, and those fasts I did back then did fix all the inflammation. It's not the nerves that were actually fixed themselves. They were being irritated less by inflammation. And that's why the keto fast fixed it, because keto fasts actually can't repair nerves. Like, you gotta be in ketosis and stay in it for like 2 or 3 years straight before your body starts repairing your nerves. At least that's what my research has turned up. I have wondered, why when I did a 5-day fast twice now, did it fix my sciatic nerve? Because that was horrible pain. The things it keeps coming down to is, well, I had lost a lot of weight, which helped, and I did that fast. And it must have repaired something. When you're in ketosis, inflammation starts to get a limit. I only learned today that inflammation can still be around when you enter ketosis. Like, it's not like all inflammation in your body just magically evaporates the second you enter ketosis. When I had been doing boiled eggs and the shake most days last week, by about Thursday, the inflammation started to hurt less in my left foot. And then, of course, I ate something Thursday, and it took me out of ketosis. So my relief didn't last for long. So that's it for now. I'll see you.